So there's a new supreme leader of Iran, and within literally 48 hours of taking the job, his first move is to release a statement that basically says, whoever killed my father is going to die a slow, restless death. Also, this is now every Iranian's sacred duty. No press conference, no thank you for the promotion, just straight to a hit list. And somehow, that is not even the craziest part of the story. The craziest part is that the President of the United States appears to have read that statement and thought it was about him. Buckle up, we need to talk about Hormuz, we need to talk about a dead senator, and we need to talk about why Donald Trump, a man who once said America's job in the Middle East is to get out and save the money, is now personally directing maritime traffic in the Persian Gulf. Okay, quick recap, because the last few months have moved fast. Back in February 2026, Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei was killed. Trump goes on camera and calls him the worst man in history. America and Israel throw a party. Fine. Classic escalation. Then Khamenei's son, Mojtaba Khamenei, becomes the new supreme leader. And on July 11th, one day before US airstrikes hit 300 sites in Iran, he puts out this written statement. He says the people responsible for his father's death will not die peacefully in their beds, that Iran has a full list of names, and that revenge is now a divine mission for every Iranian. He didn't name anyone. That's important. He did not say Donald Trump. But Trump responds like his Ring doorbell just went off at 3 a.m. Within a day he's saying, and I'm paraphrasing his energy here, not inventing it, that 1,000 missiles are locked and loaded on Iran, that thousands more are ready, and that if Iran tries to assassinate him, the US military is prepared to level the entire country for a year. That's not a policy statement. That's a guy who took a subtweet personally. And look, I get why he's jumpy. This man has survived 2 actual assassination attempts. The rally shooting in July 2024, the golf course thing in Florida 2 months later. Iran denied any involvement both times. Call it a third-rate conspiracy designed to make them look bad. Fine, noted. Moving on. But here's the thing about conspiracy theories in this region. Everybody's a suspect. Iran, Russia, Israel, pick a country. Someone on the internet has a theory. It's like a geopolitical game of Clue, except every room has a drone strike in it. Now let's talk about the actual flashpoint, which is the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow strip of water that roughly a fifth of the entire world's oil passes through. Here's where it gets almost comically petty. Back in June, the US, Oman, and the International Maritime Organization quietly tried to set up a new shipping route through Hormuz without really looping Iran in. Iran's Revolutionary Guard basically says, cute, no. And a week later, they attacked a commercial ship trying to use their route. Then on July 7th, Iran hits 3 more ships from Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Liberia, because those ships used Oman's route instead of Iran's. And in response, the US launches strikes on more than 80 targets. So just to be clear about the actual scale here, this isn't one incident. In the last 3 days alone, the United States claims to have hit 300 sites across southern and western Iran, saying they were storing missiles, drones, and radar equipment. And now we've got a generally absurd standoff over basic facts. Iran's military says the Strait of Hormuz is completely closed. The US Central Command says it's completely open. Iran says it controls who passes through. The US says no ships pass without ITS military's protection. 2 global superpowers arguing about whose GPS is correct. Trump ran on the idea that America should stop playing world police. His whole vibe was, bring the troops home. Why are we the security guard for every gas station on earth? And now, 3 years later, he's functionally become the guy standing in the middle of the world's most dangerous waterway going, you can go, hold on, let me check with Iran first. He turned into the exact job he said he hated. He's not commander-in-chief right now. He's a TSA agent for oil tankers. And then, because 2026 was never going to let this be simple, Senator Lindsey Graham died suddenly on July 12th, 71 years old, officially illness. Now, Graham was one of the loudest voices pushing for the US to go all in on Iran. He was also a staunch defender of Israel's actions in Gaza. So the second the news breaks, Iranian state media basically celebrates. They say the man who pushed for war against Iran went to hell. Meanwhile, Netanyahu calls him a great friend of Israel. And within hours, timelines fill up with theories. He'd just been in Kyiv days before he died. Russia struck Kyiv around that same window. So now people are asking, did Russia get him? His office denies any foul play. There's zero evidence of anything nefarious. But in an environment this combustible, even a natural death gets weaponized into geopolitical Rorschach test. Now here's what actually matters underneath all of this noise. There was a memorandum of understanding, basically a peace framework that France helped broker between the US and Iran back in June. Trump signed it. A lot of people read that as Trump trying to sideline Netanyahu, trying to actually walk himself out of another Middle East war. And now both sides say that talk is over. So the real question isn't, was it Hormuz or was it Mustafa Khamenei's revenge statement that blew this up? It's probably both feeding each other. You've got a brand new supreme leader who needs to look strong on day one. You've got a US president who spent 2 years trying to prove he's tougher than the last guy without wanting an actual ground war. And you've got a Strait of Hormuz that just happens to be sitting on top of a fifth of the planet's oil. Nobody has to actually want full-scale war for this to spiral into one. They just have to keep flexing at each other until nobody can back down without looking weak. And by the way, if you're watching this from anywhere near South Asia, this isn't background noise for you. Oil shocks from Hormuz hit India and the wider region directly, fast and hard. So no, this isn't really about who assassinated who, or whether Mustafa Khamenei meant Trump specifically. It's about the fact that we have built a global economy that runs through one Strait of Hormuz, controlled by two governments who currently communicate exclusively through airstrikes and cable news. Talks, war, statements, war, talks, repeat. That's the loop we are in right now. And nobody, not Tehran, not Washington, seems to know how to be the one who steps out of it first. So that's it. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, hit the like button, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel.